Everybody, welcome back to my shop. Today I'm going to be just making a quick modification to my bench that's going to help me a lot because I'm doing a lot of work lately with the domino joiner, the biscuit joiner, the Triton doweling machine, and just making a lot of right angle face frames and things like that, even with pocket hole screws. Putting things together at a right angle and having the right amount of dog holes in the bench is key because I'm not sacrificing any of the strength. This is just double sheet of plywood, my bench right here. So it's going to be perfect for working with extra dogs in the bench. I've been researching all the different types of clamping options and I came up with a few different options. This is a quick adjustable auto clamp that has a stem for a 3/4 inch dog hole that goes in there and it auto clamps down on the piece. Then you have these, they go in the dog hole, you tighten it up and it works on kind of like a cam system, and then it's a quick adjust. You can move the clamping mechanism in and out against the bench dog, against the workpiece, and then you clamp it down and it holds it in place, and you can sand and hand plane. So those are a couple of things that I came up with. So just what we're going to do today, I found the easiest way to mark out the location of the dog holes and drill them through. We're just going to do it with a paddle bit or a spade bit, 3/4 inch. And I'm going to be using a small piece of pegboard because the holes are already laid out on the pegboard in a perfect 90-degree angle to each other. But it also happens that you can count the amount of spaces in between each hole and you can get 4 inches on center every 4th hole. So 4 inches is on center is like, that's kind of like the standard on the bench dog holes. You can do 3 inches. Some people like 3 inches, some people like the 4 inches. It really doesn't matter. You do anything you want. I'm gonna go with the 4-inch dog holes. So what I'm gonna do is I counted 4 spaces in between each hole and I've just circled those holes that I want to drill out. And now I'm just going to keep it flush with the end of my table, and I'm going to use a marker and mark out the holes that I need to drill. You want to take a square, and this will help you keep the drill square to the table.
To drill the holes in the next portion of the bench, I'll drill a pilot hole and I'll use the drill bit as a locator pin to move the pegboard up and mark the rest of the locations.
Okay, so I'm just going to keep moving up here until I get to where I want to be. I'm not going to do the whole table because I don't need it. So I'm just going to go across and up over one more. I'll do that off camera, then I'll come back and I'll show you the clamping options and how this is going to work. Okay guys, so rounding over the edges of the dog holes with the router gets rid of that little bit of tear out that's left from the paddle bit. You can see this came out nice. You don't need to do the whole table. I mean, you could if you wanted to. I don't feel the need right now. I don't feel the need to do it. So let's talk about some clamping options and bench dogs. So you have your standard 3/4 bench dogs, and let's just say that I just want to, I'll put a bench dog here and put a bench dog here. I'm gonna lower that down, right? Put the wood against there. And I'll take this particular clamp where having the multiple holes comes in. So now, tighten that up. That activates the cam inside the dog hole so it doesn't spin. Okay, snug that up. Then you just take this, push it right against there, or I can take an extra piece of scrap and I'm gonna just put it right in there. Now I could go right to the wood if I needed to hold it down, if I was just, you know, making a domino slot or something there, or a biscuit. But since I want to sand it down and then use this quick action clamp right there, that thing is not going anywhere. And now, if you're working on it with a random orbital sander, you can see I can sand all over that piece without coming into contact with the clamp, which is a great feature. And then it's just a quick release like that, get it out of the way, and then move this, and then you loosen this up, and that allows the cam to loosen, and then you can just pull it out of the dog hole. Another clamping option, let's say I'm going to put some dominoes in this piece right here. As I'm going to get it off of the edge, I like to work with the domino and the biscuit joiner off the top of the face instead of on the bench, because if I'm working off the bench and it's not completely flat in that area, I'm going to get a height difference. So I like to get that part off the bench, and then I could take this, okay, put that right there. Now if I put another one here, obviously it won't be able to spin, so I would put a clamp on either side of that, and I'd be able to make my domino holes. Or if I wanted to, I could have actually just, you know, let's say take a scrap here and put it here, I'll put a bench dog, or I can use the other clamp and just put it up against there, and now with the pressure it can't spin at all. But I am definitely going to buy more of these clamps because, you know, they are pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to take bench dogs, put them here, butt that up right there, take this piece and butt it up right here. And now I have that locked in, made my right angle. Now let's say I'm making some face frame, put that in there, and screw in my pocket holes on a right angle. Check that square, and that is perfect. All right, that's looking good. All right, so excellent. Okay guys, so that's it for this quick little shop project here. Something that you can do in about, you know, maybe 10-15 minutes and save you a lot of headache later on when you're trying to clamp things down. You know, if you don't have a traditional workbench, you can also do this. You don't need one of those thick, heavy Rubo style benches. So basically this is kind of like a multifunction table. All right, so you can do a lot with it. I use it as an outfeed table. I use it as a workbench. I use it as a finishing surface sometimes. I'm going to now use it as a clamping table for putting projects together, using the domino, using the biscuit, using the dowel joiner, pocket screws, even to clamp a piece down to sand it, clamp a piece down. You can put a work piece in there, lift it up, hang it off the edge like this, come down as far as you need, clamp it in place, and now you can take a handsaw and cut that piece off, and you could even, you know, probably make a bunch of jigs to make a shooting board here. You can use it to put a bench stop on for a planing stop to hand plane. So what I think what we're going to do is later on down the road, when I'm ready to face plane a board by hand or do some card scraping, we'll make a planing stop with 2 dogs and a very thin piece of maybe 1/4 inch material, or maybe a little more, maybe 3/8 thick, and we will put it in these dog holes, and that'll act as a planing fence, and we'll be able to plane and card scrape and sand and do all the things we need to do. So that's it for this little project. Hope you guys get something out of it. Hope you do something like this to your workbench. It doesn't have to be perfect, however, it does help to use the pegboard or some sort of a jig, maybe even if you make it up yourself, or you can use one of these if you have. They're very good, the Woodpecker's T-square. You can, make your line. You can put your pencil marks in there and slide it across, and you can make a grid, and everything will be accurate. All right, guys. So that's it for this. We're going to start working on the next video. We're going to have to cut down a cabinet, make it smaller, and see if we can rework the doors. If not, we'll have to make some new ones. All right, so stay tuned. That's coming. A lot of shop projects, a lot of builds coming. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That'll notify you every time I upload a video. All right, guys, have a good one.